So I just thought I'd do a belated 18-month video. So I've actually been on TRT now for 2 years, but I'm going to talk around when it was around 18 months. So we have to go back in time a little bit, where at the 1 year mark, me and my wife decided that we thought it was time that we moved to Slovakia. So my wife's from Slovakia. We've got two amazing children. As I mentioned in a previous video, we've got a third child on the way, but at the 18-month mark, we was going through a lot of stress, a lot of, trying to understand if it was the right decision. We was buying this property where we are now. We've got sort of land and things, but being on TRT really helped. Testosterone replacement therapy really helped. Really helped, keep me focused, reduce my stress. It's very stressful moving from one country to another, particularly away from the UK. But it's just flown by. There's not really much, to report on. It's the mental strength that I've got from TRT, not so much the physical strength, although my muscle has increased as would expect. My diet is staying good. I'm still around the sort of healthy weight that I was when I stopped going to the gym, and I've sort of gone through this process of moving countries. Currently got my weights set up here, trying to do as much as possible as and when I get time, but running sort of like a small farm, which is pretty much what we have now. It is time consuming, so trying to do as much as possible. But yeah, back to the 18-month mark, it was a blur, to be honest. Once you're on TRT and you're that focused on having a better future, and you really set your goals and you really work towards achieving your goals, it really helps. I could not have moved country. I could not have bought a house in a foreign country and done everything that I've done from the 18-month to the coming up to the 2 year mark now. I could not have done that without TRT. It's completely changed my life. It's not for everyone. Some people, they say it as a bit they've got speculation or whatever, but for me, I just want to share my journey. I know people have followed me over the past sort of 2 years, right from the beginning, and I think it's most important for people to understand, if you're looking at taking testosterone replacement therapy, it's important to understand them first few months and what to expect. After about 12 months, once you're pretty much dialed in, there's not really much difference. You're a different person. You can get up in the morning, your aches and pains have gone. For example, I used to get really bad aches and pains. I mean, I've got a bad back now, but I'm not entirely sure what's causing it. But yeah, after the 1 year mark, you're pretty much a different person, and definitely for the better. Now, that's all I've got to say, really. It's important the first few months for people to understand, because I understand people can be apprehensive. When I was researching, I couldn't find any information or, rock solid information. So if anyone's thinking about it, if anyone's got any questions related to my experience, I'm not actually a doctor. It's just me sharing my experience so that other people have got some information to go on. At the time, I couldn't find any information out there that was, set in stone as to how people felt. I understand why. I think probably people jumped on it for the first 2 months. No, not jumped on it, but I think people went through it and then probably forgot to document it. So I tried to document it as much as possible. That's why I've not really been posting over the sort of past, few months. But yeah, I don't think the sort of 18-month, 2-year mark is too important. But yeah, the information's there, so that's what I've done. Anyone that's following me, please share your experiences. Share, like, comment, click on the link in the bio. I'm also trying to increase the following on my YouTube account. So yeah, thanks.